All right, let's dive right into one of the most explosive, game-changing moments in history, the day of Pentecost, from Acts chapter 2. Seriously, this is a story that's got it all: a mysterious sound, supernatural fire, and a whole lot of confusion that ended up kicking off a movement that swept the globe. We're going to go step by step, verse by verse, to really see how this incredible day went down.
Okay, so let's set the scene. Our story kicks off in a quiet, unassuming room somewhere in Jerusalem. Jesus' followers are all gathered together. They've been waiting, just like he told them to. You can just imagine this feeling of anticipation in the air. But trust me, nobody, and I mean nobody, saw what was coming next.
So verse 1 gives us the establishing shot. Picture it, about 120 people, all on the exact same page, with one accord is how the Bible puts it. They're not scattered, they're all together in one spot. You can almost feel that stillness, you know? That collective breath they're all holding, bound together by the shared hope.
And then, verse 2, bam, the silence is just shattered, suddenly. And this isn't some gentle little breeze we're talking about. The text says it's a sound from heaven, like a rushing, mighty wind. Think of it like a freight train and a hurricane combined. A sound so loud and powerful, it's not just heard, it's felt. It fills the entire house, shaking everything.
Right after that incredible sound, we get the visual. Verse 3 says divided tongues as of fire appeared. So imagine this. It's not one big bonfire in the middle of the room. It's these individual little flames that separate and then come to rest over the head of every single person there. It was deeply personal, a flame for each of them.
And here in verse 4, we see the effect of all this. This isn't just an external show, it's a complete internal transformation. They are all, it says, filled with the Holy Spirit. And what's the first thing that happens? They start speaking in languages they have absolutely never learned before. The words are just flowing out of them.
Now you can imagine an event this loud, this dramatic. There's no way it was going to stay contained in one room. Oh no, this private miracle was about to spill out onto the streets of Jerusalem and become a very, very public spectacle.
Verse 5 shows us who's outside. You have to remember, Jerusalem is absolutely packed. It's the festival of Pentecost. So think of it like the ancient world's version of the World Cup or the Olympics. You have devout Jews who have traveled from, and I quote, every nation under heaven. The stage is perfectly set for a massive international audience.
So in verse 6, that thunderous sound from the house acts like a magnet, drawing this huge crowd. But as people get closer, they just get confused. And why? Because every single person in this incredibly diverse international crowd is hearing these followers of Jesus speaking in their own native language. Not some common trade language, but the specific dialect they grew up with, their heart language.
Verses 7 and 8 really capture the shock and awe. You can just hear the whispers turning into shouts in the crowd. Wait a second, look at these guys. Aren't they all Galileans? Now to them, this was totally baffling. It would be like seeing a small group of fishermen from a tiny village suddenly giving eloquent speeches in dozens of different languages. It made absolutely no sense.
And now, starting in verse 9, we get this incredible roll call that just shows you the sheer scale of what's happening. Imagine a guy from Parthia, that's ancient Persia, turning to his buddy in disbelief because he's hearing his mother tongue. Same for people from Media and Elam, all these regions to the east.
And the list just keeps going, jumping all over the map. You've got people from Mesopotamia, from right there in Judea, and then all the way up in Cappadocia, in modern-day Turkey. All of them are hearing their own specific language. Verse 10 continues this rapid-fire tour of the ancient world. You've got people from Pontus and Asia, Phrygia and Pamphylia. These are all distinct regions with their own languages and cultures, and every single one is being represented in this moment.
Then boom, we jump continents. We're now down in Africa, people from the ancient, powerful nation of Egypt. And then even further west, from Libya near Cyrene. I mean, we're spanning from Asia to Africa, all these people gathered together, hearing the same thing. And verse 11 brings it right to the heart of the Roman Empire. With visitors from Rome itself, it mentions islanders, like Cretans, and people from the desert, the Arabs. And it makes a point to say both Jews and proselytes, people who converted. The message is crystal clear. This was for everyone. Nobody was left out. But here's the absolute kicker, the most important detail of all. What were they actually hearing? It wasn't just gibberish.
Verse 11 tells us, "They heard them speaking in our own tongues the wonderful works of God." This wasn't just some neat language trick. This was a powerful, divine message being delivered directly to the heart of every single listener.
So you have this undeniable public miracle happening right out in the open. But how does a crowd this big and diverse react to something so impossible? Well, as you can imagine, not everyone saw it the same way.
Verses 12 and 13 lay out the two completely different reactions. On one side, you have most of the people. They are just totally amazed and bewildered. They know something profound is happening, and they ask the most important question you could ask. What could this possibly mean? But then, you have the other group, the mockers. They see the exact same thing, and they just write it off with cynicism, saying, they're just drunk.
And that question is where we're going to leave it for now. The question asked by the people who saw the impossible happen right before their eyes. It's a question that just hangs in the air, demanding an answer, and it perfectly sets the stage for everything that's about to happen next. Whatever could this mean?